I'm MK Rotenberry, and today I'm joined by Zack Lassiter, the Vice President of Athletics at Abilene Christian University. Zack, you were recently asked to serve on the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Committee. How excited are you for this opportunity?
I'm still a little bit in shock it's real, MK. To be honest, it's an incredible opportunity to serve, I think, the greatest sporting event that we have. And then to be able to do that and still be able to serve this place, right, and represent ACU in that way, it's a real, I'm really grateful for it, and it's something that I never would have imagined would be possible.
How did you find out?
Yeah, I actually got a call from an Indianapolis area code, and I was in a meeting at the time, and I sent the call to voicemail, and after the meeting was over, picked up the phone and dialed it, and it was Dan Gavitt, NCAA staff member, obviously, runs the men's basketball championship. And so I called him back, and Dan was the one who kind of said, "Hey, Zach, we'd love this opportunity." And I said, "Well, I know it's just a phone call, it's not Zoom, but can you see my smile across the phone?" And I was grateful that he has such a tough job, so for him to be able to make calls like this was pretty special. Yeah, so Dan shared that, and we kind of took off from there.
With the current athletics landscape, what parts of this committee's work interest you?
All of it. I mean, the magnitude of, again, being a steward of a championship that I think brings so many people together at all levels of Division I. It's really, in many ways, it's the glue that keeps us all together, is something that I think we all don't want to take for granted, right? And having served at different places and seen how much that tournament means to so many people, not just the student athletes and coaches and fans, but just the overall fabric of college athletics and marrying education and athletics. I feel like it's the thing that we have that's right. And so to have that opportunity to be able to make sure that the championship maintains its special place is something that I'm looking forward to.
In this committee, when you look at it, the DNA includes commissioners and athletic directors. Why is this group the right team at the right time?
Yeah, it's super intentional about how they make up the 12 of us, because they're trying to create a cross-section of individuals that have experiences and opportunities to be able to speak to all of the 300 plus teams that play Division I, right? So you have athletic directors that serve in the SEC and the Big Ten that understand that level of college basketball. Then you've got others that are different stages. And so all of us are able to take off our day jobs, right? And really look at the championship, but bring our own perspective on it. And so I think if you just had 12 people that had very similar experiences, had similar backgrounds, you wouldn't be able to pick the very best teams to be able to play in the championship, and to be able to create a championship that's going to take care of the low major programs and that experience just as much as the high major programs.
Not everybody understands the work that this committee does. What is the role that this group will do in terms of directing and managing men's college basketball?
Yeah, I'm still a freshman in this, MK, so I'm still learning what I said yes to, because I do think that the most visible thing that we do is in terms of selecting the teams that play in the championship. But this group does a lot more than just that. Our job is to make sure every facet of the championship is done well. So that's in terms of being at the venues, making sure that the venues are in a place where everything is successful. It's to deal with ticket prices, to deal with our television partners, making sure the television experience is there. So as much as the selections gets a lot of attention, we're really focused on making sure that basketball championship is the very best it can be. We touch every single part of that championship in some way, shape, or form.
You mentioned it earlier, but your appointment is bringing Abilene Christian to the national stage. How significant is this moment for the university?
I think that it's an incredible opportunity to continue to tell our story. And I was in San Antonio a couple weeks ago for our first meeting. I had just gotten appointed, and then we went to San Antonio. That's where the championship is, and I got a chance to meet the other 11 committee members. I got to meet all the NCAA staff. I got to meet the local organizing committee in San Antonio and our television partners. And there were two conversations that I had with those individuals. One were the people that had heard at Abilene Christian University before, whether it was the CBS Sports folks that knew the Lance Barrow went to ACU and so they knew that, or there were athletic directors in our region that were aware of who we were. So that was one set of stories about ACU. Then there were others that honestly hadn't heard of us, or had casually heard when I reminded them about our win over Texas a couple of years ago. So it's really cool to be able to introduce ACU to some people who don't know us, but for people that are getting more and more familiar with ACU, it's another opportunity to be able to tell our story in a way that I think is great. That's why we made the decision to go Division I as an institution, right? The ability for our athletic program as a platform to be able to tell the greater story about what ACU is about.
And you have this term until 2029 when it comes to an end. What impact do you hope to leave?
It's not about me. I know that I'm a very, very small piece of the puzzle, but I go back to what I said before. I think March Madness, I think the college basketball tournament is one of the greatest, if not the greatest event in all of sports. And I hope that happens for a long, long time. And I'm not going to be the reason why it does or it doesn't, but I do want to make sure that we continue to make that championship special for everyone. And that's something that I think is going to take a united commitment across the entire membership. And so that group is an example of how can all of us work together in ways that can make all of Division I special, as opposed to it being something to where we fracture and go different ways. So that's my hope. And again, that's a special moment. For our university. When I got here to ACU, and when people talk about one of their best ACU memories, it's amazing how many people talk about that basketball game, right? So it's just think about that times 300. Right, those are the memories that we're creating for so many people. I hope we can continue to be able to do that.
Well, a lot can happen between now and 2029, but thank you for joining me and answering these questions, and congratulations again on an incredible opportunity.
Thanks, MK. Yeah, it's I'm still pinching myself from time to time that this is real.
Awesome.